And now, I want to introduce my Flow Ohio bro, Steve Peace.
Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to see all my fam out here that's really doing this work around the country. So many people that I do know and love that are in the crowd, and people that don't know and love me yet, like you will after this performance. My name is Stephen Pargett. I have the pleasure, privilege, and honor of serving as the communications and culture director for the Dream Defenders in Florida. Thanks. So today is an important day. Does anybody know why? 2 years ago, today, George Zimmerman was acquitted for the murder of Trayvon Martin in Florida. Y'all remember that, right? So July 16th is the 2-year anniversary of Dream Defenders taking over the Florida Capitol for 31 days and 30 nights to protest the injustice that lives in Florida that created the environment that allowed all of that to happen. The school-to-prison pipeline that pushed Trayvon Martin out of school, the racial profiling that allowed George Zimmerman the opportunity to kill Trayvon Martin, and the Stand Your Ground law that made it 40-something days before he was actually arrested for killing this young man. Our time in the Capitol was really important for us. We learned a lot. It was 31 days of sleeping on hard, cold, marble floors, lights on at night, and this was something that we weren't necessarily prepared for, but we dove into. And the country caught us. We were sustained and supported for that 31 days. There were political leaders, civil rights heroes, influencers that came and joined us in the Capitol, but most importantly, our membership flourished while we were there. They were not only sitting in the Capitol, but doing political education right inside the governor's office every single day. Our membership was crafting legislation around Stand Your Ground and the school-to-prison pipeline on their own. That same legislation that they were lobbying these senators and representatives that were in the Capitol. There were a lot of victories that we got in that time, but the most important victories that we got was the cultivation of the membership and the leadership of our folks that were there. We got an opportunity to tell our story to the world, and we're able to jump into the national media. And we feel that this was a very important moment for the movement happening in this country. It was an inspiring moment where you could look on TV, you could see a bunch of kids with power hats on, and you saw that young people of color were not playing. That young people of color and students were here to build power and will take power if you don't give it to us. And we asked the world, can we dream together? And the nation responded. Our comrades from all over the country are here, you all are here, and we're all working together to change this country. Some of the most important questions that we had after having this experience and the realizations that we had was that the revolution is local and that we were concentrated in the state's capital, but that didn't give us everything that we wanted. And if we actually wanted to win, we had to build real power organically, authentically in communities all over Florida, which you all should know has an abysmal political climate. So if we were gonna win anything, we had to get real, we had to organize deep, and we had to build strong. This is a picture of our 2014 Congress. Dream Defenders from all around the state of Florida, our comrades and allies from around the country, places like New York, Los Angeles, Ferguson, Baltimore, and some of our international friends from places like Mexico, Palestine, and Brazil came, and we all learned together. And we're talking about a revolution. We're talking about a real revolution. We're talking about the sustainable, real, long-term planning and effort and organizing that it takes to do something real. This is a squat. That's right, y'all did it right. Squat. That's exactly how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. And this is the lifeblood of our organization. This is the Godsville Squad, formerly known as the Gainesville Squad. They've renamed their city because it has racist origins. And this is one squad that's centered in Gainesville, Florida. Some of these folks are at the University of Florida. Some folks represent people that live in that community and have lived there for a long time. And what these squads are doing all throughout the state of Florida is listening, really listening to the community, responding to injustices that people feel, and through these local campaigns that are locally targeted, we're building that power piece by piece, brick by brick, building the trust that's needed in the community so that we can have statewide power over the long term. Here's some of the places that we have squads at some of the universities that are listed. And also some things that aren't listed here is the exciting work that's happening in real communities that's not specifically campusly located. So we've been able to sustain action and activity all throughout the state, keeping our membership and their communities engaged. This is at the GEO shareholders meeting to call attention to the travesty that is the current day slaveholder system that is the privatization of prison. This is around the time of Ferguson, us taking over the state attorney's building, not only to raise attention locally around what was going on in Ferguson, but also to use that moment to talk about local injustice that was happening, like the murder of Israel Hernandez, who was a 17-year-old graffiti artist in Miami that was killed by the Miami Beach police. Still no justice. Here's us taking over the Capitol, one of the days that we did that. This is a really important story. I'm not sure if you all have heard of Brittany Overstreet. She was a 17-year-old in Tampa, Florida, who was accused and said to have mace in her purse. She was assaulted by a school resource officer. He broke her jaw in 2 places, and the Tampa Bay squad rose to the occasion, organizing around it, shutting down streets, letting the community know what was going on, drawing important media, because the problem was not only was she assaulted and harassed by the police, but she also had charges against her. So the organizing that they did in Tampa was able to get the charges against Brittany Overstreet dropped, and that's important. This is in Miami Gardens. There was a young man, his name was Laval Hall, 17 years old, mentally ill, and his mother called the police to get help. When he was out in the neighborhood one day, little did she know that she shouldn't have called for help because the Miami Gardens Police Department ended up killing her son. The tape of the police killing him was not released, but we rose to the occasion, met with the family, went out into the community, canvassed, and provided the support network that was needed and training that was needed in the community so that something real could happen. We got the tape out, and the case is still ongoing. But this is really important to me. What you see here is Laval Hall's mother, Miss Catherine, right next to Jasmine and the rest of the organizers that we're working with. And this connection between these young people and the real people in the communities that are experiencing these injustices, the injustice that is the trap of schools, police, and prisons, and how poor people and people of color are born into this trap in this country and have to fight to escape and find their way out, that's what we're working on. And we've got a lot of really exciting things going on. A lot of innovation around what creatives of color and digital media strategy looks like for grassroots organizing groups. This is a picture from our Dream Defenders Unschooling program, which is actually really important. This is us bringing in elementary age young people and providing a summer day camp for them so that their parents can get a little room to breathe and work their 2 or 3 jobs that they have. And this is the type of work that builds those strengthened, really strong bonds with the community that you need to build power over a long time. So I'd love to talk to you all about what we're planning in the future, but that is my time for today. Show your love.